Seraf is taking on Bruce Campbell today, and Seraf is going to be playing as the Aversa Assassin, because he wants to show that he is the superior assassin to the Lictor Alpha of the Tyranids. Should be a good one, should be a nice amount of melee brawling going on with any luck. And I hope that we get to see some nice bio meltdowns from our little Aversa buddy over here, killing a whole bunch of gaunts, because isn't that delightful? Of course it is. Bit of an awkward map for the Tyranids, I must admit. Dealing with the garrisons can be a pain, especially right now when spore mines are 125 requisition. Getting one of them just to deal with a unit in a garrison is... it feels really painful, I'm not going to lie. It delays your warriors by so much. And you really do need the warriors against the OM, it feels like. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not exactly certain what the meta is for the OM against Tyranids at the moment. There's always a debate about whether you go double IST or not. They're not very combat effective, but at the end of the day, they're cheap and they're good for getting map control. And when you're against Nids, man, map control can be hard. They're so fast and so numerous. So, we'll see. The EA himself will be pretty fearsome, especially once he gets his pistol, and he can start using garrisons defensively as well. But you don't really want to fight him in melee, not with Hormagaunts anyway. Strike Squad should be able to control the Lictor, but Lictor will be very good in this matchup for bleeding the IST. You see, he already took out 2 of these IST. Now, the Gaunts can't really do anything against the Strike Squad early on, they need to overwhelm him. So you'll often see double Hormagaunts. If there's double Hormagaunts, they can both just rush the Strike Squad and absolutely slaughter it. But an isolated Hormagaunt, no chance. Even a Hormagaunt with Termagant support, no chance. 2 Termagants, no chance. So it is a bit tricky, but going for the Termagants, it's easier then to bleed the IST from a distance and to control and shoot down the EA. Then again, Hormers would also beat the IST, but then it's a map with a lot of garrisons. So I can understand the double Termagants. I don't think it's particularly bad, especially against an EA. Having double Termagants is probably going to be very nice as we progress into the later stages of the game where the EA starts to get war gear and becomes an absolute nightmare to beat in melee. But fast warriors are coming out, we've got fast operatives coming out for Seraf. Operatives are a weird one. The incendiary grenade can be okay against the Gaunts, but ultimately they're just not that great in the matchup. Obviously right now they're being purchased for detection against the Lictor Alpha. Operatives are the only detector at the moment for Automalias, which is a little bit problematic for them because of their niche applications. They kind of get outshot by Termagants, and they don't have any anti-melee to stop the speed 6.5 Hormagaunts getting into melee, and the piercing shotguns that are relatively low range are not very good against the leaping warriors with heavy infantry armor. So for actual combat purposes, the operatives are not great. As I say, if you can land the incendiary grenade on the Gaunts, then they can do things, and their actual shotguns are probably best used against the Lictor. Interesting that the Lictor has gone for the Toxin Miasma so quick. I wouldn't have expected that. Definitely needs to get out of here with the Grey Knights closing in on them. IST unfortunately not able to take the garrison in time there, so they are going to be forced off, and map control is going in favour of Bruce Campbell quite rapidly in spite of that initial double IST opening that I talked about. So he's going to leave this... I thought he was going to leave that uncapped for this squad to go take imminently, but apparently not. Do we have any upgrades for the EA? We do not yet. The warriors finish off that power node and retreat out without a model loss. Good for them. Not seeing any toxin sacks coming up. How many generators have we got? We've only got 1, so that would make me think that Bruce wants to get another squad, probably a Ravener squad. Wow, manages to kill one of the warriors and retreat there with his EA and his strike squad. That felt like it was quite lucky, looking at the HP. Yeah, reasonable. And indeed, he wants to get another squad out. He wants to get some Raveners. That will definitely put a lot of pressure onto the IST and the operatives, them only being light infantry. Having the extra range DPS in addition to double termers is going to be pretty scary, actually.
Support structure complete.
That was a bit of a swing and a miss. This is not ideal. Yeah, operatives don't have melee resist, bleeding models, not good, and now the Homers can just turn to the IST who have already used their frag grenade. So they do break their retreat and they're going to pew pew, but I don't really think it's going to help too much. Looks like there was a crippling poison down. Nope, not a crippling poison, it was the toxin miasma. Can't have been a crippling poison because these guys don't have their toxin sacks yet. Homers seems to not really do very much to the kiting IST there, but I'm sure the Lictor Alpha will do a good amount. Here come a strike squad with their Tomes of Titan. So some nice passive stat buffs here, and a little banishment, which is pretty effective there, but nice timing from the Raveners. What we got? Didn't we have something over here? Yeah, IST with 3 models, they're just going to run away and cap the map, but this is rough, look at the map control. My god, this is very favourable for Bruce. You kind of do expect it in Tier 1. Certainly when the Grey Knight units get their Tier 2 Grey Knight leaders, in Tier 2 they're going to become a lot more fearsome, as is the EA himself. But this is a lot, guys. This is a lot for the Order Malice to be dealing with in Tier 1. I don't think they should be behind quite this much. Incendiary Grenade on the Termers. That's a nice land. Yep, lands well. Strike Squad be able to 1v1 the Warriors quite easily. Yeah, and a lot of bleed going in here. Looks like there's the Hypermetabolism Global on the EA giving him that extra regen. Buff for HP and energy. And a Ravener model gets killed too. So this is good. Good bleed there from Seraf. Punishing Bruce for the very aggressive push onto the power, and if we look at the economies right now, Bruce actually, in spite of the superior map control, is not doing that well economically. He's actually bleeding a lot, which is rare for the Tyranids. Yeah, he's bleeding loads. Wow, where's his Lictor? Okay, Lictor sneaking off over here, he's purchasing even more upgrades. Wow, this is an incredibly heavy Tier 1. Yeah, I've upgraded all the Gaunts. Double upgrades over here on the Lictor. Warriors and Raveners. That's a big Tier 1 for the Nids. A little bit scared here is Seraf with his IST. He does have to be careful because of the fact that the Lictor can infiltrate and just pop out. He will kill these very, very fast. No upgrades for the EA. I find that a little bit odd. What can you do? Does spot the Hormagaunt attack, retreating to the safety of the building, no doubt. Not going to lose anything yet. And it looks like the EA did manage to sneak out of here. Probably going to rotate to the mid, but the Termers won't let him cap that point. Ravener's now rotating over as well. Seraf's going to be getting to Tier 2 first, and I have to imagine fighting the Tyranids, you're going to go for a Rhino, turn it into the anti-infantry Razorback variant. It's too good against the Nids. The LA can at least call down some Venom Brood on the map, so that kind of helps him if he can sort of push the Rhino into a precarious position where it's backed in a corner, or it's forced to drive past a Venom Brood that you call in elsewhere. You generally do that by pushing it with heavy melee, zoning it with such. But it's not easy, even with that. This should be a decent engagement here. Raveners just butter away. Too much DPS here from all the ranged Nids. I think these Strike Squad need to get out. If Warriors get a leap, this could be beautiful. Oh, he didn't micro it. Oh, Homer's just caught the IST over here as well. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, pressure's on now. Should be able to take out basically this entire gen farm. You've only got operatives coming out to defend. It's going to be quite some time for the Rhino. But there comes the Justicar for the Strike Squad, so all of a sudden they just became a lot stronger. Yeah, operatives can't do anything here. Look at that. Look at that DPS. Holy crap. A lot of bursty, piercing DPS coming out of this blob right now. So getting the Venom Brood, giving it a ranged synapse would make a hell of a lot of sense. But yeah, all that ranged piercing, not going to be quite as effective against the Strike Squad due to their heavy infantry armor. Are we going to Crippling Poison? There we go, Crippling Poison comes in, but we're going to need another one. Banishment, of course, stronger now with the Justicar on the field. And the EA is moving in. That's a Bio Meltdown. I don't think this is going to be a big one. I think it's going to be rather disappointing. Fleshhook kind of cooked it. Is he going to stay in and get wiped? Ah, that's not worth it at all. He wasn't even in range of the Termers. And here comes the Rhino. Can't even pick up the LA for it. Sad. It's going to be turned into the Razorback. Makes sense. You know, no actual vehicle armor threats other than a shield wall TG, but you know, shield wall TG, who cares? Just get your power melee out, kill it when it's not in shield wall, shoot it with your plasma guns, all that good stuff. Nice little point blank incendiary nade into a dodge there, gonna rout the Hormers. Cheeky little impact grenade even getting a kill. And it is going to be the Venom Brood, rather predictably. Nothing unusual or surprising so far about these tier 2s. Of course you're going to get the Venom Brood. It's going to actually have AV to kill the Rhino. And it's going to buff up the damage of these Termers and Raveners, which seem to be doing quite well for him, to be fair. Good amount of XP on them. Everything's got a reasonable amount of XP. Let's have a look. Strike Squad nearly level 2. Pretty even XP distribution amongst both players here. 4x Swarm on the Warriors. So we've now got 2 sources of AV to deal with this Razorback. We've got the Electroshock Grub on the Warriors, and we've got the Venom Brood as well, which is down there. Talk about a blob right now. Bruce really blobbing up his army here. This is literally everything, isn't it? Yeah, other than the Lictor who's in the mid. Everything else is here. Just going to push onto the Gen Farm once again. Homer's going to go to the side. I suspect they know that there is a capping unit. This is the thing with the Homers, not many units can 1v1 the Homers other than actual Grey Knights, but the problem is the Grey Knights cost too much compared to Homers, and they're slower, so they're just inferior for map control purposes. Actually exposing the rear armour a little bit there, kind of saved by the impact grenade. Dropping a smoke down, needs to get some repairs, which they will, but Stormbolter's not going to do that much to Venom Brood, because Venom Brood are heavy infantry, and they're in cover right now too. So yeah, just going to force them off. And even the Justicar Strike Squad, man, taking so much damage just from all that ranged. Did they have? Yeah, they got their ranged synapse, so all those things are doing 25% more damage as well. It's pretty significant. These guys need to be very careful, because these operatives will get melted. I think that you could even just shoot them out of the building, to be honest. I don't think it would take that long, honestly. Then you've got the Flesh Hook as well, which can hit units inside a building. You know, drop the Desiccator Lava so they take more damage. Or is it 20% more damage taken or something by units inside the Desiccator Lava? Might be 10%, might be 20%, something like that. I mean, a lot of commitment here just to kind of chase around the operatives. I don't really like this. He's ceding a hell of a lot of map control here, losing the mid. Oh, there's a Grey Knight Librarian now. That could be quite impactful, actually. Well, I don't know. Grey Knight Librarian, you usually get it for anti-melee, but really the primary threat here is a lot of range, so I'm not certain how that's going to do. Sanctuary certainly is helpful against all, and it's going to be fighting a Tyrant Guard. It's one of the few things that can't get knocked over by the Sanctuary bubble. So what's this? Strike Squad in melee with the Venom Brood. They do pop a model, probably want to get out of there now. We've got Bio Meltdown? No. He's just in melee with his charge, but no Bio Meltdown here. No weapon upgrade either on the EA, so I don't know. He's staying in with hypermetabolism, but there you go, Krypton Poison. He's going to die again to the TG. Yeah. A little bit of disruption to the Venom Brood, but at the end of the day, TG's still in play. The good thing for Seraf is he does have the 2-to-1 cap at this point. Basically, all of Bruce's units were committing to that fight right there, so kind of a big deal. I'm not sure about this Libby. I mean, what else could he have got, though, if we think about it? I mean, you can go for a Vindicator, and you can try and pop, like, Synapse and Raveners, but then there's a lot of ranged piercing DPS, and the Raveners can burrow atop you, so that probably wouldn't be that good. I feel like Purifiers would have been a better choice. They'd be really good against the TG with a power melee. They've got 3 power melee and 1 heavy melee, so it even counters shield wall. I think they do cancel vehicle abilities as well, not just infantry ones with their abilities, so it stopped them charging away and using shield wall. I'm not certain though. If they do, then that'd be really amazing. I just feel like the Libby is more of a counter to melee spam. Less good against the ranged build that he's kind of facing. And it doesn't really help with the TG either. So, you know, I'm talking about ranged builds, and obviously these double TG are not ranged, but The Libby isn't countering that. The Libby's more for Gene Stealer's warriors. Because you can't disrupt the TG with Sanctuary is the problem. Look at this attempted flank with the other TG. But they're so friggin' slow. Seraf needs to get some Plasma IST inside of this Rhino. And just go around hunting the TG with a Plasma IST. Oh, he does have Plasma IST en route. He's also got the Strike Squad. But they're not going to do too much against the TG, that's for sure. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, that's not going to be a good fight for this Strike Squad. Not at all. What the heck? Actually manages to hit the bloody Rhino with the Electroshock Grub. I thought that was long range there, but must have been right on the edge of the leash. Bruce, I don't think charging the TGs forward here is going to work. Maybe it is. Wow, look how long the Electroshock Grub snares for. My god, I didn't realize it was that long. Damn, he literally gets out with a... That has to be one more shot would have killed. There's no way a TG does less than 46 damage. The damage, remember, from heavy melee gets halved against vehicle armor. They must do more than 46 damage per swing. They must. Very, very lucky for Seraf there. Seraf is actually going tier 3. So I guess if he can manage to rat for long enough and survive to get Grey Knight Terminators out, he could be good. Grey Knight Terminators are the power melee halberds will, of course, absolutely tear Tyrant Guards to pieces. But... he's bleeding VPs. He does own this VP, but Termagants are going to try and change that. And I guess these two Tyrant Guards, one's going to go mid and one's going to go to the natural to try and hold on to this VP advantage that Bruce currently has for as long as possible. Not really seen the Terminator Librarian do anything yet, so that's a bit of a shame. But also the EA hasn't really done too much. Not getting the Neuroclaw Gauntlet on him seems a bit strange. But I think the biggest problem really is the Terminator Librarian hasn't really done anything. I think Seraf might have even forgot about the Terminator Librarian, to be honest. What did he lose? Did he just lose the Homers? Yeah, he did. Oh, he lost Termers over there. He must have lost the Homers ages ago. Forgot about his Termers on the VP. Got wrecked by a Rhino and IST. A little couple of TGs is going to slowly bumble over to the natural VP of Seraf and cause a bit more pressure. But this is a delaying game. I mean, the thing is, Bruce is already in tier 3 as well. Even though Seraf started going there first, Bruce's economy is just so good right now due to the map control. It's a problem. Only plus 15 for Seraf, plus 30 for Bruce over here. Bruce has got a lot of requisition. You see, he's got these, both these side ones too. It's helping him out a lot. Bruce never got... Oh, I guess he had one of these gens bash, but only one. I don't know, maybe he never even built it fully. You often don't even need to as Tyranids. You've got a very requisition heavy tier 1 and tier 2, but the power does become useful in tier 3 if you're starting to get multiple Carnifex. Perhaps he will just wait for the first Carnifex without building a gen, but then afterwards, if the game continues to elongate, he should probably get the 3rd gen so he can start spamming out the Carnifex train. Really nice use of the TG though, just to zone the Rhino. Even if you don't kill the Rhino, the thing is, these guys are super heavy infantry. They're not taking a lot of damage from that heavy bolter, and they're cheap. So you just use it to sort of zone the Rhino, push it out of the way so they're not bleeding the more important units, like your Warriors, like your Raveners, or your Gaunts.
The enemy is capturing one of our victory points.
Nice flank from the Strike Squad here. Are they going to wipe it? They do. They wipe out that Venom Brood. That's actually a pretty brilliant situation here. Warrior Brood need to get out as well. What on earth are they doing? I don't think he even seen the flank here from the Strike Squad. That is pretty bad. Now these Tyrant Guards are quite isolated. Strike Squad aren't pushovers, but they're splitting their damage. They're splitting their damage between the pair of TGs, which is pretty silly. They need to focus fire one of them. This guy's got no energy, and he goes down. Nice banishment. And the Strike Squad don't lose a model. There you go. That is great. Nice. Seraf is going to be purchasing a Voldemort Razorback. In my opinion, an incredibly overpowered vehicle unit at the moment. I don't understand why it's so cheap in cost for the stat line that it has. 0.25 higher speed than a Predator. Only marginally less HP, but significantly more single target damage. Or MEQ based damage. well, in terms of DPS. But the problem is that it can't poke, because it doesn't have a regular cannon. But if you just stand and trade with it, you get wrecked. And yeah, when you're using a Venom Cannon, you kind of have to stand and trade with it. Because your Venom Cannon, well, it can't fire while moving, and it suffers from immobility because it's on a walker rather than a tank. So we'll see. I mean, obviously in a one-on-one trade, the Venom Cannon Carnifex will win. It beats everything in a one-on-one vehicle kind of trade, but it's slow, and it can't be repaired like a Vortimer Razorback, and that presents some serious weaknesses for the Venom Cannon Carnifex. We do have Melter Bombs as well now on the EA. See that Psychon activated? That will actually increase the damage output of that Melter Bomb, but, you know, nothing crazy. First Bioplasma is going to be a swing and a miss. I mean, the DPS here coming out of a Razorback with a Side Cannon and a Razorback with Heavy Bolter, pretty scary against the Raveners. Bruce should be building Rippers here. You should use the Rippers to get line of sight for his Venom Cannon Carnifex and as a meat shield. Because if Rippers are getting shot, it means your more valuable units aren't getting shot by the Vortimer and the normal Razorback, and that's very important right now because he's going to be bleeding quite a bit. Did he just call down another Venom Brood? Oh, he did. I guess he used the global bar for that? I'm not sure about that. Losing the first one, though, was pretty terrible. Don't know how he managed that. I don't know why Seraf is moving so damn close with the Rhino. That had to be a misclick. Oh god, he got hit by the Electroshock Grub as well. He's screwed. It lives. How does it live? It's got 16 HP. The Venom Cannon Carnifex doesn't have sight though. Instead it's using its time to shoot at the... oh my god, shoot at the Vortimer. And now the Strike Squad can tie up the Carnifex, and the Vortimer drives back forward to shoot at the Carnifex. The Carnifex can't fire its cannon while it's tied up. This is one of the problems. But I don't know what all the supporting infantry were trying to do. What is he doing? He's running forward again, gets hit by another Melter Bomb. He's going to lose his Venom Cannon Carnifex. Oh, what a disaster. What an absolute disaster. What is this? What on earth is this? That is like the strangest balked sync kill ever. This is like the Force Commander Power Sword one, isn't it? But it didn't trigger at all. That was weird. And the Tyrant Guard is greedily charging forward. I mean, it gets a couple of swings there. 3 swings on the Vortimer Razorback, but really going after the wrong one. Does the Electroshock Grub grow off? Indeed it does, and that is going to kill... no, it's not even needed. The Venom Brood is what's going to kill the Rhino there. The EA getting very close to taking out that Warrior Brood with a 4x Swarm. Surprising not to see an upgrade, even at this late stage of the game, where things are in Tier 3 on the EA. I would have expected to see the Neurotoxin Claw. TG continues its relentless pursuit, but I'm afraid it's not going to be successful, and it goes into shield wall right in front of another Psychic and another Purgation Squad. That is going to be the end of that one. No Rippers. Poor play really from Bruce there. Needs the Rippers. Definitely needs the Rippers to take that fire from the Vortimer and such. And then all the rest of his supporting army can deal with the Strike Squad tied up his Fex in melee. And then of course the Fex can beat the transports. But yeah, the Vortimer Razorback, you see in that example there, it was just in all ways superior to a Predator because you didn't need poke, you just needed DPS and speed. Why did you need poke? You didn't. Yet the irony is, even though it's superior to a Predator, it's cheaper. Because it's not 450 125, it's 400 100, which is nonsense. Even if it was 450 125, I still think it would be OP, because it's doing way more damage than a Predator for only minus 50 HP, and it has more speed. Madness. Anyway. I did rant about it in the Discord. If you guys want to share your own opinions, feel free to do so. If you go into the main community pubcard, the public Discord, not my own one, the main community one, you look in balance, you will see my discussion about the Vortimer Razorback and how I basically said it's well designed, but I don't think it's well balanced at the moment. And you can contribute your opinions there, where it will, I assure you, be read by the dev team. Whether or not it will be heeded, I can't assure you of, but I can assure you it will be read. So let your thoughts and feelings be heard. But it was a bit of a scrap, certainly. Looking around the map, there's a fair few dead bodies lying around, and that's generally what you get with the Ordo Malleus versus the Tyranids. I must say, it's a really fun matchup to play from the Ordo Malleus side, when your strike squad are like fending off 4 different Tyranid squads all on their own with a hero. Very disappointed not to see a weapon upgrade here on the Aversa. I think in this late game stage, the Neurotoxin Claw would have done amazing for like the last 3 big engagements. Certainly, man, you activate Psychon for the damage boost, you can hack Tyrant Guard or Warriors to pieces with that Neuro Gauntlet. But we didn't see it. Fordham Razorback as usual carried. Terminate Librarian got a lot of XP in the end. I guess just a lot of things died. I don't really think he achieved too much there. Fighting most of the arranged build into Tyrant Guards, not really the most effective thing for the Terminate Librarian. It's tricky. Purifiers, of course, would be more combat effective, but the problem is Purifiers have higher upkeep, and Purifiers have the potential to bleed too, so it could result in being stuck in Tier 2, and then you can't get the Vortimer, and then you're in trouble. So, swings and roundabouts, I don't know. Decent game regardless. Hope you enjoyed that one, folks. That's going to be all from your boy Torpid. This time, I am signing out.